listening to the Tingles and Triggers podcast. I'm your host, Trisha Paytas. This should be the first ASMR podcast ever. If there's another ASMR podcast out there, let me know. I'm not sure, but do not worry. There will be no mid-roll ads. There will be no jump scares through this. This is meant to be a relaxing, tingly also, for me, I take time for me in the morning to meditate and like really connect to our source. So, while I do love good gossip, now and then on TikTok, for me personally, I don't know, I can't really give my 2 cents on the matter. Other than in general, just cheaters in general, I just can't. I can't with cheaters. It's humiliating, it's embarrassing, it's super disrespectful on their behalf and also your behalf, It's devastating when there's cheating involved, especially when there's a marriage and there's children, because I see all sides of it, and I'm not talking about Adam Levine anymore. Just in general, I know why women stay with cheaters, because you build a life together. You want the kids to see you together. But on the other hand, could I stay in a marriage where I'm cheated on? I don't know, and I don't want to find out, For me, that's like the ultimate. I can't do this because you can never trust again, right? When trust is gone. When trust is gone, what do you have? What's left? But I'm gonna get some more water in a bit. Some more smart water. Because at the end of the day, it's very disrespectful to cheat, right? If you have feelings for someone else or lust for someone else, don't you owe it to the person you love to tell them, so they're not blindsided, they're not humiliated, or really to leave them, I guess. It's tough, but I'm gonna have a sip of my smart water. Then there's the age-old question, how can you cheat on someone you love? I could never. I look at the way my husband has treated me like an absolute queen, and the way he's with our daughter, I could never do anything to jeopardize like this perfect family. Like we just had a baby, like I said, but it really is. I've had the perfect marriage. I know that's probably very bold to say. Hamza, evil eye, protect me, hand of God. But I'm very confident to say that our marriage has been perfect. Now, our relationship started off really bad. We had a really toxic relationship, but in marriage, from engagement to marriage, but really in marriage, we have been so strong and so solid. And now with a family, it's elevated all that. I could never do anything to jeopardize that. But I don't know, at the end of the day too, I think, is it an addiction? Just like any other addiction, a drug addiction, alcohol. Is love and sex an addiction? And I think absolutely it is. I think I've known people who cannot control it, because a lot of people will say, oh, she's a Victoria's Secret model, why would he cheat on her? Oh, it's a famous movie actress, she's so beautiful. J-Lo, Elizabeth Hurley, all these women, they're so beautiful, why would they cheat on them? And it's not about beauty. And same goes for the person that they're cheating with, it's not because they're younger, skinnier, prettier, it's all about the guy and the ego, or the woman and the ego, whoever's cheating, I think there is a serious addiction to love, sex, attention. So I think it's super important to not, what's the word I'm looking for? To not judge a situation because we don't know the whole story. And even in my circumstances online, the whole story has never been out there for everything I've been judged on and condemned for. And there's just no way the whole story could ever be out there for anything, for anybody. Even if you go to trial, there's always more that's hidden. There's always more that's just kept from the overall picture. Even between two people, is the full story ever out there for two people fully to be honest and transparent? Hopefully, if you're in a relationship, but I don't know. This podcast might become the Hunger Pains podcast. My stomach. I've got my bedazzled brush here. I love nail tapping. That is my favorite.